Imagine a single human body standing completely still in an empty room. No clothes, no social cues, no history, just biological presence. Look at these 4 lines. We start with naked, but language quickly takes over. Nude shifts to art. Lude introduces moral judgment. Crude means vulgar. This progression happens without the body moving an inch, yet these labels completely change how we perceive it. When we talk about identity, we are describing this specific accumulation, learning to perceive ourselves through a long habit of external categorization. This categorization creates a secondary problem. Once a biological state is labeled taboo, it requires a management strategy. This is where we begin to construct an artificial persona, a public cover-up designed to smooth over the inherent friction between our nature and social expectations. We build these layers as a form of architecture. It ensures our social interactions are mediated by approved structures, keeping raw nature out of sight. The version of ourselves we present to the world functions as a defense mechanism, maintaining the safe distance required by societal norms. This construction of the self has a specific economic engine behind it. If you can be convinced to feel alienated from your natural body, that alienation can be turned into a market. The cycle works like this. A cultural norm produces a feeling of inadequacy. That void creates demand for commodities to fix the perceived flaw. But the loop relies on the inadequacy remaining unresolved. The flow returns to profit, ensuring identity stays tied to consumption. This makes shame a primary driver of modern commerce. It transforms the human search for identity into a self-perpetuating business model. We see this same logic of distance in our rational systems. They manage complex, traumatic realities by removing the need for direct, relational contact. Bureaucracies operate on this principle. They process human suffering by translating broken people into case files and paperwork, framing the trauma in a way that is clean, organized, and manageable. Our intellect performs a similar function when we build complex theories about human behavior. We are creating a form of cognitive armor that lets us analyze a situation without actually feeling its weight. By organizing reality into sterile categories, we use our most sophisticated intellectual tools to keep the vulnerability of direct human experience at arm's length. In many trickster myths, the character of Coyote exists to point out when our intellectual structures have become too rigid. Coyote would see a video like this, a meticulous analysis of identity, and recognize it as another clever staircase designed to keep us safely insulated from reality. The alternative to this intellectual distancing is a relational presence. This means sitting with a person in their pain without the protection of a theory, a clipboard, or a management strategy. This direct connection reinstalls a human anchor exactly where the rational system left a void. Reaching an authentic sense of self requires stepping out from behind these clever cover-ups and accepting the unframed proximity of other people. This is why the poem ends with the question, "I just don't know, do you?" This isn't a casual dismissal. It is an act of epistemic humility, a refusal to install yet another label or theory when the mind has reached its limit. It asks if you are willing to let go of the analytical framing and simply exist in the reality of the situation. The intellect can build the stairs, but it has to stop at the door. Admitting we don't have the answer is often the only way to stand in the truth.